Hey,
Hey everybody, how's it going out there?
hey.
You guys look good, I can tell.
Hey.
Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. It's the show where we handle any issues, any challenges you might be having. We actually have quite a list going right now, and a lot
Mhm.
of you are here tonight, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if you have anything you're dealing with or anything you'd like us to talk about, you can feel free to put it in the chat there, or you can post it on our website. I'll post a link here. That's our website,
Mhm.
bss.studio. If you'd like, you can also email dww@bss.studio. Just mention if you want, you can mention that you'd like to remain anonymous, and we'd be happy to keep you anonymous in that. Or hey, and Princess is putting our
Thank you.
discords on there.
That's awesome.
You can feel free to send us a message there as well. Um, and yeah, sorry, I gotta adjust my volumes a little bit.
Oh, that's okay.
Um, but anyway, yeah. So we're not professional therapists or counselors or anything like that. We just want to pull up alongside you as a friend, offer some encouragement, some love, and maybe some perspective along the way. We fully understand that you guys are probably smart enough to figure a lot of this stuff out on your own. But sometimes it's tough to see the forest through the trees, if that makes any sense, or the forest for the trees.
No, it makes sense. Sometimes it's just like you're like there's one tree and you're way too close to it to actually see anything else. I mean, like
Right. Yeah.
the
All you
forest,
see is
there's like more
bark.
trees behind that. But right now you're so close to the tree, you can't even see the bark. The bark, you like, your eyes don't work when things are this close.
Right.
I mean, you can see that there's bark, but you can't really pick it out. Sometimes that's what life looks like. And you need
It
someone
does, doesn't it?
to grab you by the shoulders and take you back 2 steps and be like, look, that's a tree, my friend.
Oh, that's what that
Actually, that
is.
does happen though. Sometimes we get so focused on something, like we get so concerned and stressed out that we can't see anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I know that's happened
And we
with me
can't even
plenty of
think that we're
times.
looking at clearly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's happened to me plenty of times. I've been in that situation where it's really I might be caught in something that's actually quite simple, but my emotions are going crazy and I'm stuck in the middle of it, and I'm just like, whoa, there's all these facets going on, and I have a friend of mine just point and be like, well, just like do that. Like, oh yeah,
Oh,
that'd
yeah,
be
there.
so simple. Good. well,
Yeah,
well,
it's like when that happens, sometimes it's just like, shut up, dude. Don't just
I,
like that's way too easy. There's no way. Like I could try that, but you're probably right. That makes me angry.
right?
It's way too simple. Why didn't I
yeah,
think of it? They'll be like, don't point out the obvious when I can't see the obvious, man. That doesn't make me feel good.
I know, right? It was crazy. I remember one guy told me one time I was asking for some advice. I was really, really stressed, and he goes, well, so do I need to like teach you how to balance a checkbook?
Ouch.
I was like, no. It's like, well, like, yeah, but there's this and this. He's like, it's really, really simple. But at any rate, so sometimes that just can happen.
Yeah.
But man, I missed you guys so much on Friday. I tell you, I
Feels
was
like it's been
thinking
forever.
about you guys. What's that, Ryan?
I said it feels like it's been forever, even though it's only been like a week.
I know, it's crazy. You know, it's nuts. And actually, about the time we would have been starting, I was thinking about you guys, and I was like, man, that would be so great to be at Don't Worry Wednesday right now,
Mhm.
because yeah, as you guys know, my wife had surgery last week, and so we were at the hospital and everything, and it was crazy. Like, she was there, and it was her day of observation. They were just making sure everything was going okay, and I they had just delivered her dinner, and so I was helping her get all that situated and helping her get her food placed in the tray table, put in the right spot and everything for her. And then the nurse comes in to check her vitals, like right at that same time. So we got the food, we got the nurse, we got the vital signs, and we got everything. And then all of a sudden, my phone just starts blowing up like crazy. And it's my mother in law. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, oh, this craziness is going on. And I'm at the hospital, you know, and And my mother-in-law's calling me. She's like, "Hey, I need to meet me at the pediatric urgent care because your son is running 104-degree fever, and you're the guy with the insurance card, and I got to take him in." And I'm like, "Oh no!" So then I go, and I'm talking to my wife, and I'm like, "Okay, I really got to go because our youngest son's very sick." And she's like, "No, you definitely need to go. We'll be fine over here. Go." So, um, so I get in the car and I'm in the parking ramp and I look at the time and I'm like, I'd be going on Don't Worry Wednesday about right now.
That'd be nice.
But I'm in
this
the middle of
crazy
this
moment.
crazy nuts
Yeah.
experience right now.
I ran
Uh,
104 a couple of times.
oh yeah, that was scarier than the surgery
Mm.
because they laid him out on the table at the pediatric urgent care, and yeah, she's the doctor was like, "Oh my gosh, he needs to eat a popsicle." And then he finished that one. She's like, "He needs another one."
That's interesting that they did that. So when I hit 104, they just threw me in a cold bathtub and they're like, "Go sit there, enjoy
Oh,
it." And I'm
jeez.
like, "Yeah, this is the most painful thing I've ever experienced." I'm pretty sure that's why my brain, whenever I sense cold objects, I immediately feel pain. I'm pretty sure that's why.
Uh-huh.
My brain is like traumatized from those experiences and it just decided to wire, "Hey, cold is pain." So,
And that's
yeah.
why you like wearing sweatshirts in Florida when it's 90.
Yeah, and jeans.
And
I will
jeans.
yeah, absolutely. Long pants rather. Yep.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe
That's
in the
that's
snowsuit's good too. No, okay, maybe not.
yeah, but that's cold. That's almost seems mean to throw you in a cold bath like that, when
Yeah,
you're
it was, but
but
that's kind of like what you got to do. You got to try to help somebody. So,
right.
yeah, you got to have them cool down somehow.
Yeah. Hey. But at any rate, my wife is fine. She went through the surgery very well. The surgeon was fantastic, and everything's going great. So she's back home and
Awesome.
recovering just fine. So thank you guys for uh, asking and stuff. So, um, but
Nice.
yeah. So at any rate, our producer is Jesse. You all know Jesse. If you don't, you need to check him out at BSS Streaming on Twitch. Him and Ryan will do some gaming,
Yep.
and
Over the weekends.
that's a lot of fun on the weekends. Yes, so go there and subscribe to that channel. And our chat room hostess is Princess Yellow. Say hi to Princess. She's awesome,
Hey, hey.
and she keeps us on track. She does a really good job keeping us on track, and even when we get off track, she's like, you should actually be on track." And we're like, "Oh yeah, sorry."
How about we stay on track, but we derail?
Well, yeah.
Like
Oh, good.
we just go on a different track. There's a destination, and we've decided to go on a different track. So advertisement segment. Well, that's why we get this thing started, and then it's
For sure, whatever thing ended the live stream last time. The word of the sponsor. Oh, is
turn it off and turn it back on.
we're back.
Oh, we're
We're
back.
back. Hey, look at that!
Hey,
Wow, Jesse's so
yeah.
good he didn't even know. Man, he just automatically put us back on there.
Jesse's got the magic fingers.
Mm-hmm.
See him type.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty impressive.
So, Jesse, do you think we're all right? Yes, all right.
All right. Well, a hiccup, I guess. It might have been even on YouTube's side if your OBS never stopped. And oh, you got kicked out. Were you kicked out of Zoom too? Okay, I didn't know that. Huh.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, well, it's just a hiccup in the internet then.
Hey.
We're back, so let's do it.
Yep. So here we are. So if yeah, if you guys want, you can hit refresh on your YouTube there. Might get you caught back up just in case. But I don't know if there was any issue with that. But then everything will be caught up. So anyway, we've got some here in the queue. We've got Angel, we've got Dead, we've got Akhil, we've got Jack, Knox, Cherry, Princess, Amira, Drachi, Snowlock, Lay, and Kay. We got all you guys, and a bunch of you guys are here, which is awesome.
Wow.
So, because I know I've seen Akhil here, I've seen Cherry, I've seen Princess. Princess obviously is here, and Princess, we did promise that we would do yours.
I was gonna say, didn't we? Because I actually had a browser page open with hers on it. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't we?
Yes,
Had to do this one.
I saved it to a notepad because she threatened to delete it. Actually, she's
That's
like,
right.
I'm just gonna delete it. And I'm like, I'm copy and pasting it so it doesn't get deleted. I know we don't have to promise that, but we're gonna do our best.
Cherry's here as well, so that's cool.
Yes. So Akhil, the ones that we have from you are quite old. Do you have a choice? Looks like you got a couple. A longish one and maybe a not so long a one. Akhil is silent now. It's like, maybe I'll hide.
Maybe I'll pretend I never was here.
I'll pretend they didn't see me.
I'll pretend, yeah.
Oh, we saw ya.
Maybe I'll write a wall of text and I'll hide behind it, and then they can't see me.
That could be.
And they'll just send out a bunch of airplanes like Rack Attack.
Oh,
Akhil went Solid Snake. Yep. He went and hid in a box.
He hid. Okay, well, I tell you what. Then what we will do is we will handle Cherries. If Cherry is still here. Cherry, are you still here?
Cherry. They're probably still here.
Oh, Cherry's here. Okay, yes.
But they said someone can go for me.
She's got to go eat
dinner.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Let's see then.
All right. Well, see you in a hot minute.
Yes. Yes. Let us know when you come back. So we'll know. Oh, hey there. Hey, Akhil. Akhil, you're here.
Akhil comes back just to say they're here. I'm not though. Yeah, I see that. I see. Well played.
Very good, Akhil. All right. We're gonna handle one of yours, Akhil, actually. And you're gonna enjoy it.
We're doing Sepner?
Yeah, that's the one. You know the one.
You know the one. This is the one.
Oh.
Whoa. This is a multi-part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of pages on this one, actually.
The last part is our question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So tell you what I'm going to do. Akhil, if you don't mind, let's see. Well, you know what? I do kind of have to read this. Because I think we got to read it in order for it to...
Apparently, if you turn the...
Turn it upside down?
Turn it upside down, you can see the real title. I don't know.
Rudes.
Rudes? Or is that not an R anymore because it's upside down, and upside down R would make a J? Judas.
Ooh. Maybe.
Judes. I'm imagining that would be Judas.
Aha. Yes. Oh, Akhil says his connection is not the best for this, to be honest.
Oh.
Well, doggone it.
All right. We can do princesses. I mean.
We can. Tell you what.
Cool,
Yes, that makes it princesses. Princess, we're going to do yours. And so what? You know what? That means that our promise will be kept.
Yes.
Yes. And Akil, next time maybe you'll have a better connection, or you can let us know if your connection improves. We'll be happy to handle it. So, Princess has on here what to do about nothing, but it's most definitely something. And there's the link.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, so Princess posts on here. I love my parents. I do. I really love them. Yet right now, loving them feels more difficult. And today, it's just been really weighing me down after going home for Easter. I want to meet a good online friend this summer. My friend and I discussed that it would be cool. So the logical next step was to talk to my parents since I still live with them and they are an important part of my life. So I brought up this person to them, and they are pretty negative through their comments and reactions about it. Their response is reasonable from their perspective, as they want to make sure that I'm safe against predators and danger. I know my parents have disapproved of such friends I've mentioned before, but usually not to my face. I hear them whispering behind walls that they must think aren't so revealing. Yet this time they've been quite vocal about it. My dad has made comments that make me feel like he doesn't trust me. He takes the situation as if I have an online boyfriend with remarks like, "Are you going to move to his state?" Or, "Pregnancy changes everything." Or, "Do I need to clean my shotgun? I don't mind going out to his house to greet him with it."
Nice.
My stepmom groans when I mention something cool or good if I reveal to her that it came from talking with my friend. I've talked to them several times that I know they're trying their best, and I tell them that I'm trying my best to be open about my life with them because all I truthfully want to do is shut them out of it. It's extremely painful to receive this type of response when I choose to open my heart to them about someone who I care a lot about. It's hard. It's hard to feel like they are tearing me down because of their worries about my friend. I feel treated like a bad child who has wronged them. And this is especially painful because they've never acted like this before to me. I feel betrayed all over again by the people I should be able to trust. I know that there's not much I can do about their part because that's up to them and is driven by their own experiences in the world. Do you have any advice on a way that I can make this even a tad bit easier? It doesn't matter if it's to help my parents or to comfort my breaking heart. I wish for some way to look at this from some other perspective that makes it not seem so tragic. And that's from Princess. And wow, Princess, that's definitely a painful thing to be going through. And I'm so sorry that you're experiencing this. But I'm gonna turn it over to Ryan.
I like
And
the
I'm
eyes you're giving me. Is this about me, princess? I assume. Um, because we've had this discussion before.
okay.
It could. I mean, and maybe it's not about me. Maybe it's somebody else. But I'm pretty sure this is about me. Um, so yeah, it is a bit weird. It seems weird that they are so closed off to um you making friends online, I guess, and wanting to meet up with them. But I think that's a lot of parents' fears. I think a lot of older people have been programmed with the idea that everybody online is trying to uh, take advantage of you and kill you,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or worse. Um, and and if they haven't really experienced that stuff themselves, they just don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so sometimes when you experience things like this, you just have to say, they just don't understand. They don't know any better. They don't get it. Um, and so it is what it is. I mean, we could perhaps relate to, um, one of Jesus's last words on the cross before he died was, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do."
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, I think that represents your parents in this case very much so, and that they just don't understand. I mean, a lot of people of your parents' age have been brought up believing that you have to be extremely, extremely, extremely careful for anything that happens with anybody involved with the internet.
Mhm.
Um, and that's in part not just to media in the past, but even media today. If they're watching the news, they're going to hear all the bad stuff and none of the good stuff. So
Mhm.
they're going to assume that there's nothing good out there and there's only bad out there.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's just how it is. Um, but if they were to give it a chance, if they were to try to make friends themselves online, if they were to go and try to join a community online, regardless of whatever kind of community that is, they would find that it's not all evil, and that there are people that they can trust. Um, so you just have to kind of, I think one of the best things to do is just kind of pity their misunderstanding, pity their unknowing, and say to yourself, you don't have to say to them or to their face, but just they don't know any better. They don't know any better. They don't know any more. They don't understand. And that's all right. And so these comments that they have, while they are said in such a way that it's like, are you just trying to tear me down? Like, you know, and they might be. They might be because usually when people see other people doing stupid stuff, they don't approach it appropriately. When we see people doing something really stupid, we often just are like, "Wow, why are you doing that? That's really stupid." And we tear people down.
Mhm.
Instead of trying to help them through it. See, because from their eyes, they look at what you're doing and they're like, "Wow, she is really stupid." And it's coming from your parents, right? But that comes from everybody in life. It doesn't matter if it's your parents or not. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. It's not like your parents are necessarily trying to hurt you. It's more so that they think that they can't convince you of the truth.
Mhm.
So they're just trying to get it across in awful ways.
Mhm.
Whereas they actually don't have the truth and they're the ones that are maybe needing to be talked to about it. Um, so to make it a little bit easier on yourself, I would walk yourself through that mindset. Just remember it's like what they say isn't really necessarily intended to hurt you. It's just that they think what you're doing is stupid. And they think what you're doing is stupid because they don't understand what you're doing. They don't understand. They just immediately assume that the internet is bad news,
Mhm.
um, kind of thing. Um, so that's kind of like the best I've got for now. And we could talk a little bit more about it. Maybe I'll come back to it after Joe's done, but I'd like to see what Joe has to say about it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Ryan, with the idea of just anybody who you meet on the internet must have some kind of ill intention because that's what gets the most attention in the news. That's what gets, I mean, it happens with a lot of things too. I mean, it happens with people on the internet. They're like, oh, if you met them online, they're probably trying to take advantage of you. They're going to come over, they're going to rape and murder and pillage and, all
Pillage
kinds.
death. They're gonna come with their torches. And sorry. Love it.
That's yeah, and so but it's a cultural thing. I mean, seriously, think about this. What if people are very, very into watching the news on stuff and they're very plugged into that culture, what right now do you think people think about Catholic priests?
They come to pillage.
They come to pillage. They come to take advantage of children. They come, like all kinds of, evils are that because there have been some cases years ago that, that are now coming to light that involved a handful of people in that profession. I mean, there's there so there's all that going on. And it's like, so then it's like everybody who's that way is a bad person, right? Every Catholic priest is a bad person. Everybody you meet online is a bad person. Every police officer, since they had the police killings and all that kind of stuff like a few years ago, at that point in time, every police officer was a bad guy. And it just,
Everybody who's in a company that could be seen as a pyramid scheme is
yep,
an evil person,
they're
and that's a
evil
pyramid.
person. Evil person.
Yeah,
Everybody who was in the early 90s, it was everybody who was in a .com startup was a bad person, because there was the .com bubble then,
mm,
and then recently we had the mortgage crisis. Everybody who was in the mortgage industry was a bad person. And it was, there was just all this stuff. And it's just this really weird sweeping thing. Like we tend to get caught up in it too. I've been caught up into that as well. I had some bad experiences with police officers, and so I just lumped every police officer in that light. And I was like, I don't like cops, any of them. And now I've met some that are really awesome and that try to do their job really well. And here's
mm-hmm.
the thing: if your if if your parents, if this is about Ryan, which it sounds like it is, if this is about Ryan, Princess, then
I've come to pillage. So
as the crazy thing is, as soon as they get to know Ryan, they're either gonna just forget about what they thought previously, or they're gonna feel guilty for thinking that. Because seriously, once you get to know this guy and you get to know his heart and you get to know what he's all about, like, you can't help but understand that he's not here to do something evil. He's not here to try and take advantage of anybody. Is the whole thing at Black Static and Swerve. All we want to do is help people. And sometimes we make mistakes for sure, but in our heart of hearts, that's what we really want to do is help. And Ryan has that heart more than anyone here.
No.
I promise.
Okay, fine, whatever.
I promise. Out of all of Black Static and Swerve.
But I do have that thing where I like to pillage, so.
That's great. The pillaging is great. But anyway, so I think, but truly, from their perspective, you are right, Princess. They're just trying to protect you. And they're going about it in a way that they think might have some kind of an impact on you. Unfortunately, from your post, it's having the opposite effect on you than what they are wanting. I think what they're thinking is going to happen is if they can tell you all about this dangerous stuff, then what's going to happen is you're going to turn that part of your life off, and you're not going to go there anymore, and you're going to run back to their protecting arms where it's safe. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. But unfortunately, because you know what you know about people that you've met online, you've interacted with me a lot. You've interacted with Ryan way more than with me, and Jesse, I'm sure as well, a lot. And so you've had a lot of experience interacting with people who are genuinely good people online. So what they're saying isn't true. So their tactic is going to have the opposite effect on you. It's just going to cause a division, and that's pretty much what it's doing now. And so I don't know if there's a way. I mean, I don't know them, so I don't know how to approach them. But if there's a way for you to talk to them about that and say, I understand your concerns. I understand how because you don't know Ryan, you don't know any of the people I've met online, and that there's a lot of fear involved there. I understand where you're coming from, but I know these people, and I know they're good people. And for you to take this approach, I can't believe you because I know them. And so all this is doing is causing a conflict between us. And I'd really like to not have this conflict between us. So can you maybe just hold your judgment until you meet the guy? You know, I mean, at least give him the chance of meeting him before you make that judgment. If you meet him and he's a bad person, yeah, get out the shotgun and make sure he doesn't pillage.
That's right. That's right.
But
I've been threatened with shotguns before. I'm not
oh
worried.
yeah, me too. Well, actually, no, I've been threatened with baseball bats.
Oh, you've been threatened with baseball bats. Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, not the shotgun. Oh, I've been threatened that they would bring a shotgun, but not that he not have one in the hand.
Oh, yeah. No,
The baseball bat was in the hand.
have one. It's usually just like, hey, oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, you stay right here. Let me go get my shotgun. And you're like, bring it.
Yeah.
I'm just delivering this door card. From bring your shotgun. I am
Bring
Dave.
it.
I will cut you with this paper. Anyway, here you go.
Yeah.
See you later.
Well, so Princess updates. I've tried talking to them and it hasn't really changed much. And I understand that.
Mhm.
So
How are
um
you supposed to change someone's mind when you're one person in a flock of like 50,000 people on the news or whatever throughout their life that have told them, oh, yeah, everybody on the internet is terrible, you know?
yeah. You know, it's nuts. I don't know how you change somebody's mind, and sometimes you can't. And in fact, uh, we are all the only people who can change our own minds. So I mean, if you're trying and trying and you're not getting anywhere, unfortunately, there may come a time when that's just going to damage the relationship you have with them, and maybe that needs to be brought up at some point and just say, look, the way you're acting about this, the only fruit of this long term is it's going to damage our relationship with each other. And I know that's not your goal, because I love you, you're my dad, and you love me, I'm your daughter. I know that your goal is not to damage our relationship, but because the way you're approaching this is based on untruth, it's just going to damage the relationship. So
Yes.
I mean,
Mhm.
at some point it takes, I mean, you can let it simmer, you can maybe just leave it alone. But at some point, all of us, as a parent, I understand I behave in ways that damages the relationships with my kids at times, and I have to say I'm sorry for that and try and be better. And I hope and pray that that can be the case here. But maybe you can just let them know that, hey, the way that you're approaching this is really hurtful, Dad. you know can we talk about this civilly and not hurt each other's feelings? But that might be the an approach you can try. And if that doesn't work, then hey, technically, you're an adult, and it won't be long, and you'll probably be self-sufficient. And at that point, their opinion is going to mean less and less, especially if it's based on something that's not true. So with that, I've already talked way too long. Ryan, what else do you have on this?
You did the perfect amount of talking time, Joe. It was 100% perfect.
Oh,
Uh, it couldn't have been any shorter or longer. Like that was the exact moment where you needed to
mm,
stop. So it was
yes,
perfect. Yeah, you did it.
bullseye.
Pow. Yeah. I don't know why my dart says pow, but it does. Um, so, anyways, yeah. Actually, sometimes you have to approach people in a serious, mature way that is anti what they are trying to do. Like you're you're saying, "Hey, right now, I'm against you, but let's be mature, right? And let's talk about this." Like sometimes you have to assert yourself so that they can recognize you as a human being with their own understanding of life.
Hmm.
With that you're a person that actually knows things. You're a person that is intelligent and has uh, rational skills, right? Rationality skills. Sometimes you have to approach someone and stand against them and be like, "Hey, listen, what's going on right now is not healthy for anybody.
Mhm.
You insulting me is going to do what for you? Is going to do what for me?
Mhm.
Yeah, nothing good. So let's try to move on past that stage and become like, let's make this relationship between us as adults a good one. Sometimes you have to be kind of in their face, but not necessarily in their face aggressively, but
Right.
rather taking a stance for yourself, and say, like, this is not right. This is not right.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to do that. And that's not easy to do with your parents. But at the same time, it's something at some point that has to happen, I think, for a lot of parents before they come to realize, wait, this is my daughter, but she's also an adult now. She's fully
Mhm.
grown now. She actually can reason now and think for herself and figure out whether things are dangerous or not for herself. I need to start realizing that. Sometimes a conflict needs to happen for them to come to that uh, reality.
Mhm.
Um, but maybe not. I don't know. Alls we can do is give suggestions.
Mhm.
But yeah, just like Joe said, I think that's a great approach and say like, hey, this isn't. We want the best for our relationship. So let's work to that end together. And I think it's a great point. So I would go back and listen to what Joe said and try to execute that to the best of your ability. Um, I think if it were me in that scenario, that's basically what I would do. I would try to sit down with my parents and have an honest talk with them and say, you're going to be the person that gets to meet them. So
Mhm.
um, they're going to come, and so um, yeah. But
Well, and
uh,
one thing that might give you some comfort as well is you know the truth here, Princess. You know, your parents are making an assumption, your dad and your stepmom. They're making an assumption based on something that they don't really know.
mm,
They're making an assumption based on an invention of their own mind. And you know the truth of the way things actually are. So you are at an advantage there. So no matter what they're doing, you can remember that at least your understanding is based on the truth and based on the experiential knowledge. Theirs is based on a mental invention, based on a prejudice, and it's not true. So you do have the truth on your side. Now, you don't have to do all this all at once. You don't have to march in there and have a confrontation. You can tread lightly and you can take your time, and you don't have to, you know, have big, massive confrontations. You can be
right.
gentle,
Hmm.
as Ryan was saying. But yeah, at some point there may have to be a time of asserting things. But I would definitely approach it from the standpoint of maintaining the relationship you have with them,
Hmm.
and that how their behavior right now is really damaging to that relationship. Like it really is hurtful to you. And I would express that to them and just say, look, I mean, how much good is it going to do for you to just say things that are hurtful like that, you know? And it's a really bizarre thing when your kid comes to you and sounds more mature than you,
It happens.
especially when they're 10.
I would know. Uh, wait, I guess I wouldn't. No, but yeah, that's true, and I think you know, um, uh, actually, I can't remember what I was gonna say now. But yeah, I think if you just come at it, obviously, like you said, Joe, you can be gentle with it. But I think it's important to, um, yeah, get your parents to understand. Like I was saying earlier, it a lot of times those kind of comments are just because they don't necessarily understand how to communicate. Hey, I think what you're doing is wrong. I mean, you don't listen to me when I told you that what you're doing is wrong. I'm just going to insult you because I think that you're really stupid. That's people's thoughts. All right. just how people operate a lot of times because they aren't thinking through their own words. They aren't
Mhm.
thinking through their own objectives. The reason they want to say something like that. They don't think about that. They just do it. Um, because they feel insulted that you're not listening to them. You know, as much as you feel insulted that they're not taking your seat, because you understand, right? You've met these people, you've met certain people online, and you know them, right? And they don't want to listen to you. And you're like, wow, you don't trust your own daughter? Wow, great, thanks. But now they're also the parents, and they're saying the same thing. Wow, you don't trust your parents? Wow, great
Mhm.
child we have. Thanks. You see? It kind of goes both ways there. And so one group, your parents, have now gotten insulted that you don't respect them, and so in turn they're insulting you back. And
Mhm.
so to fix that, we have to establish a relationship um, that and explore those truths and say, hey, this is what I've learned. You know, this is what I know, and about this situation or whatever it is. There's plenty of conflicts between parents and children. And you have to talk it out and try to figure out what is the truth. How do we figure it all out and get on the same page here so that we can not be insulting to each other, right? Um, and sometimes the only way to figure that out is through the actual events. If one party is refusing to change their mind. So, anyways, that's what I got.
Mhm. Oh, that's very well said. And Princess, yeah, you know we love you,
Hmm.
and understand that your parents do love you. They just might like be going through some stuff like what Ryan was talking about. It's just hard for them. So, but it'll all work out. Don't you
Hmm.
worry.
Don't worry
It's Wednesday. Don't be worrying.
about a thing. That's right.
No,
Yeah. We know you
yeah,
love him. That's awesome.
yeah. So keep that at the forefront of all your discussions. Keep that love there. As things get heated up, remind yourself that you love them in your head. You know. Um. Yep.
Mhm.
That'll go a long ways to help. So thank you very, very, very much for the post. I'm impressed with your courage to put this out here, especially if it seems like it's about one of the people that's on the show. Like
I originally wrote it so that it wouldn't actually say me, and then I went ahead and kind of spilled the beans there, and so I apologized, but
sure.
he texted them. So, sorry about that. That was my
Yeah.
fault.
That's hey. We all make mistakes, Ryan.
Yeah.
That was your mistake
Yep.
allowance for the day.
Cool. Well, let's try not to take another one. Also did something.
Yes. Yes. So Cherry, you are back.
Okay.
Akhil says Cherry is back. I think I saw a post from you a little bit ago. I saw hey, there you are.
Hey.
Awesome. All right. So which is the one we're doing? Fake news?
Or scared to live / mask.
I'm gonna guess fake news.
Fake news.
Change them both, but either. So is fake news now called mask?
Um,
Preferably scared to live. All right, we're gonna do scared to live because that's the preference.
okay.
Ta-da! Perfect. All righty.
All
So
right.
Cherry posted one called Scared to Live, and it goes like this. I'm scared to live. I'm scared to live because I believe in happy endings, or at least peaceful endings. I want one, but then I remember that time is moving so fast, and people that have supported me thus far won't live long enough to see me thrive. I don't want that. I'm scared to live because I don't want to die by any type of disease or murder. The only way I want to die is the knife of my own will.
So
And
when you
that's
die. Okay.
from from Cherry. So, wow, Cherry, I'm really sorry that you're feeling this way. I really appreciate you posting. Um, and Ryan, do you have anything to start us off on this?
Yeah, hold on one second. Jesse wants links.
Yep.
Not the cat, Lynx. They spell it right? Yeah. He wants links as an Links. And not links like from like Link's Zelda Link.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
all right. By the way, Cherry, you have someone who has responded, Chicken, um, who can kind of relate. So, if you haven't read that, I would go read that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a it's a fascinating question. Having that fear of death, um, and that fear of life because death exists.
Mhm.
Um, you're worried about other people dying before you or you dying before others. Um, and the fact that we die kind of separates us. They won't be able to see you uh, thrive through life and that sort of stuff. It's an interesting, very, very interesting part of life. Very fascinating part of life is death. And I think that um, it has been a topic that has, been prevalent throughout the every age of mankind is death, um, and it's one thing that is scary, but it's also important to contemplate it and come to terms with it and come to find the beauty in it. Um, a lot of times when we're afraid of something, it's because we haven't come to accept its reality yet. Um, we are worried or um, scared of the different things that can happen because we don't like them. Ultimately, that's why we're afraid of something. It's because we don't like something that it has to do with something. Usually it's pain. We're afraid of pain. The reason we don't like, or the reason we're afraid of pain is because we don't like that feeling. So fear is usually in terms with not liking. So when it comes to life and when it comes to death, I think it stands appropriate to um, spend some time to reflect on those matters and come to like both. Now, death is one of those things where, okay, you might be able to come to like life. The fact that you're afraid of death shows that you're happy that other people have existed and have lived.
Mhm.
And so, therefore, you aren't necessarily, um, you don't necessarily dislike life. Um, but some part of life is scary. Some part of life is not quite liked. And that part of life also might be death. Um, and so, how do you take the time? I think it would be important to take the time to think about death and find the things that you like about it. And I don't just mean like, then finally I won't have all of these things I have to do, like I'm responsible for and just like stressing out over. I mean, yeah, those things, that's true. Like you die and you don't have to like worry about that stuff anymore. That's kind of cool. Like it's like sweet. um, but there's more to that too. More than that to it, I mean. Um, now I think it also depends upon your religion. Um, certain religions, they experience or think of death in different ways. I myself am a Catholic Christian, and we believe in an afterlife. I remember now, one of the things that you said here that I found interesting um, is that people aren't going to see you thrive. They won't live long enough to see you thrive. And you said that y- you you're scared to live because you believe in happy endings. And I think that's an awesome thing to say because we all want happy endings, right? And I remember one time I was traveling in my car. I was kind of traveling through some mountainous region of Colorado. Just thinking to myself, praying more so, and I was thinking, happy endings. I happened to watch this anime. and it was like a pretty bad anime. Like overall, it was just kind of like not very good. Um, Actually, you guys probably know this. I think it's called Mirai Nikki, Nikki Mirai. Anyways, it's the anime that got well known for the yandere in it. The girl who's absolutely psychopathic and wants to kill everybody who comes in contact with her loved one.
Oh,
Yeah, so basically it's about this girl who's literally psycho. Yeah, Yuki. Her name is or wait, Yuki's what is the name of the male character. Anyways, it's about a girl who's obsessed with this guy and in a psychotic way in which she wants for him so much that if he starts to look at like another girl or even hang out with his other guy friends, like it's taking time away from her and that needs to stop and she's going to kill those people.
mm,
She's going to tie him up in a chair and feed him with a spoon just so she can be with him, even though he can't do anything or act like himself or anything, just because she wants to be near him. So, yeah, like psychotic, crazy anime. All right.
whoa.
Wouldn't- There's really no redeeming quality about the anime. Like, there's nothing good that it teaches you, right? There's nothing that's like, wow, I got a lot out of that experience. I'm a better person. No, you go through it and you're like, wow, that was terrible. But the only thing was, like, it actually had a decent ending. A lot of people hated the ending, and the reason they hated it was because it actually made everything okay. Kind of, um, but anyways, it had a decent ending, and it made me think about, like, happy endings, um, and living in the world we live in, and I remember, as I was saying, I was traveling down this road, kind of just, like, in prayer through the mountains, and I remember, like, "Wait a minute, I want a happy ending in my life, but the ending of my life is death, right? Now, among the way, there can be many happy endings. There can be a happy ending to my song that I'm producing, right? Cool. I put it out there. People liked it. Sweet. That's pretty much a happy ending, right? For that
And that's
song.
pretty much most of your songs,
Yeah. Well, yeah, except for the ones that everyone hates, which
which is
probably doesn't
0
exist.
of them.
Bummer. All right. Anyways, yeah. So, but then I was thinking about God, and I was like, well, what is God's happy ending? It's like, God, you've done all this crazy stuff, right? Um, but like, what's your happy ending? Like, how do you want this all to end? And I remember immediately a response, and that was, "You with me in heaven forever." And it wasn't really like a audible response, but that was the notion that was sent over me, kind of like as a message, delivered to my heart, if you will. Wasn't really words, but it was an idea or a concept or a thought. So when I asked God, is God, what is your happy ending? His response is, "You with me forever." Because God created all of this out of love and wants just to be with you. That's his happy ending, right? And so in a Christian world, um, now I don't know your religion, but in a Christian world, that is the happy ending. That is ultimately the ending. But that type of ending is also awesome because, yes, we have people who die before us and they don't get to see how we live the rest of their lives. Or do they? Because they might. But in the end, how short, like you said, is this snippet of time that we exist? It's small when you compare it to forever, forever and ever and ever and ever, right? It's just a split second of time comparatively. And so, does this life matter? Absolutely. It matters a ton. But um, the happy ending lasts a whole lot longer. And that is the Christian faith. Now, I don't know about the other religions out there. I can't speak on behalf of them, so I won't. Um, okay, Cherry P says, "I'm Christian because I've seen too many things not to believe. But then again, there are many times, almost always, where I feel like life hates me and is working against me. And I think that's a pretty common feeling among most people.
Mhm.
Um, there are times in our life, things happen, and we're just like, wow, life hates me or something. This is ridiculous. Why is everything against me? Why do I feel alone? You know, these type of things. And that's part of life. Um, but yeah, I mean, anyways, that's kind of all I have to say about it. I think it's a beautiful question. And I think spending some time in reflection and imagining death as a beautiful thing as opposed to a disaster, um, then you can shape your mind around it and not be so afraid of living, not be so scared to live or scared of death. Because a lot of times, like I said, the fear comes from a distaste, a dislike. You don't want it, but if we can learn to like it, then we can learn to not be afraid of it.
Mhm.
I used to when I by the way, when I was like really little, I was afraid of spiders, but I'm not anymore because I like spiders. I think spiders are pretty cool.
And they
Of
eat
course,
mosquitoes.
of course, I do have a fear with them. Of course, I don't want them to bite me because that's going to be painful. So naturally, yes, I'm afraid of spider bites, but there aren't. I'm not so fearful of them. I can't like look at a spider or be with a spider in a room with me, right? Um, because generally spiders, like the more I learned about spiders, the more I realized spiders don't just walk up and bite you. Like they don't want to. They don't want anything to do with you mostly, unless they're like hunter spiders, and then they're just being playful and they're like, oh, what is this thing? Oh, this is a human being. This is interesting. Okay, yeah, its skin is warm to the touch. Huh, strange. Because hunter spiders are that is that the right word? Anyways, spiders that like to hunt are curious. They actually act like cats, which is really interesting. They will play with string and stuff like that. Um, anyways, that's enough of that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let Joe talk and uh, take you on his adventure.
Yeah, it's a very interesting perspective you have, Cherry. I really appreciate that you've posted this, because I remember when I would there was a time in my life when I was struggling with severe depression, and I had, was contemplating taking my own life and stuff like that. And um, when I look back on my experience there, I realized that I was being very selfish in that regard. In your case, it looks to me like you're looking out for other people. The thing that I see is, the people that have supported you thus far won't live long enough to see you thrive. And so, a solution that has presented itself to you is to end your life now, so they won't have to be gone before that and everything. And I want you to know, Cherry, that I love how you are looking out for other people, because when I contemplated this same thing, it was very, very selfish in my for me, in my perspective. That's really what it was about. It was like, I just wanted to end it because I was tired of being here. I was tired of dealing with all the crap I had to deal with. I was sick of it. I just wanted it all to be over, and I didn't want to handle it anymore. I couldn't think of a time when things might get better. And the thing is that things do get better, because everything cycles. Things are going to get better, and then they're going to get worse, and then they're going to get better, and then they're going to get worse, and they're going to get better. We go through this up and down thing of life. People call it a roller coaster or peaks and valleys. I would recommend that book once again, Peaks and Valleys by Spencer Johnson. Um, but I was also reading in Radio Replies. This is an old book. It's an apologetics book, and he had mentioned something, because I've heard a few different ideas of death. One of them that I've heard is, "Hey, this is like a wild roller coaster ride, and it's going crazy, and then it's in the dark, and we don't know, and it's eventually going to end. We're just a big wall, and we're gonna smash into the wall." So
Oh, geez, that's great. Yeah, sounds fun.
like,
Sounds
whoa,
pain.
yeah. So I was like, whoa. But then I have a patron saint, Saint Joseph, who is the patron saint of a happy death,
Hmm.
because he at the time of his death, the tradition says that he was with his wife and his earthly son, Jesus. So he was there with Jesus and Mary, and he died surrounded by love. And it was a very happy, peaceful death. And that, so he's the patron saint of that. In radio replies, he said, it's very interesting. He was replying to somebody who was afraid of death and said, it's not really logical for me to be afraid of something that I know is inevitable, because we all experience it, and the transition from life to death is as natural and expected as the transition from adolescence to adulthood. And so we don't know when it's going to happen, but we know it's going to happen, and it's okay. And I want to offer you some encouragement here, Cherry, because the thing that's really sticking to me is that you care about the people that have supported you, and you'd like them to see you thrive. You don't want them to go before they see you thrive. And it's very interesting that you put this, because just today, this morning, in my journaling, I had written something. I was writing a reflection about some of my habits, and I had let some slide. Part of it was because I was in the hospital for 3 days and I wasn't accomplishing much at that time. So I was a little discouraged about that. But I said here, the cool thing is that I'm a moment away from changing my trajectory. I don't need to wait for a new day or a new month or a new year. I can make a change right now to shift directions. And so the people that are around you, they can see you begin to thrive at any moment. And it's really up to all of us. We can, if we find that the way our life is going is not satisfying to us to some degree, and I see that you're a Christian, I would definitely surround all of this that you're dealing with, surround it with prayer and meditation, and read and dig into the scripture, and pray, and just develop that relationship you have with God. And you can change your direction. Even though if things seem to be going bad, you can start moving in a better direction at any time. And it doesn't have to be, oh, when I'm done with school, or oh, for my New Year's resolution, or oh, next week, or tomorrow. That was always the thing that would always get me was tomorrow. I'm going to start tomorrow, because today, I mean, we're already halfway through today. Today is pretty much done. I'm just going to, whatever. Today's done, and then I'll start tomorrow. And then today I had to give my head a shake and kind of slap myself and be like, no, I live my life on a moment to moment basis. And in the next moment, I can decide to change my direction. And I can start to live a totally different life a moment from now, based on my thinking, based on my perspective, based on, the habits that I'm developing. And it's really an amazing thing. And I remember when I came up with that, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was so liberating, because I was like, I am not bound by my old habits. I'm not bound by my old thought processes. I can change them. And it's a beautiful thing, because I can totally change direction at any point in time I want. I can absolutely change. And it was so, so liberating. And I don't know if that's helpful for you in this situation, but if one of the things that you're concerned about is the people that you love and that love you, you want them to see you grow and thrive, you don't have to wait to begin to thrive. You can start learning, you can start moving in that direction now. One thing, if you're plagued by things that are happening in your life, if you're plagued by things that have happened and it's painful and it's hurtful, one of the things I just learned about is the 5-minute rule. This was something from Hal Elrod. Uh, Go figure.
It's not the 5-second rule.
It's not the 5-second rule. It's the 5-minute rule. And this doesn't pertain to food on the floor.
Cool.
He said that the 5-minute rule he learned from one of his supervisors at one point, because he was a salesman for a while. He said, when something bad happens, give yourself the 5 minutes. Give yourself the 5-minute rule. He said, set a timer, grab your phone, set a timer on the phone for 5 minutes. And let that 5 minutes go. And for that 5 minutes, you can be as mad and angry and curse and swear and yell and scream and punch the wall and your pillow and whatever you got to do to express the negative feelings of this event or situation that happened. Give yourself that 5 minutes to vent that. And then at the end of that 5 minutes, the alarm goes off. Boom. Your 5 minutes are done. Now you've vented. And the 3 words that he always said to himself was, can't change it. Because anything that's happened in the past, you can't change it. So it happened, and it's done, and it's over. And now you can look toward the future. You can change your direction. You've experienced it. You've gotten it out of your system. You've spent the 5 minutes venting about it. And now you can change your direction and move forward. And I love that. I actually did that today. I did the 5 minutes for the first time. I had a whole bunch of stuff that was clinging to me from my past. And, there was a whole bunch of stuff that it seemed to weigh me down. And I'm like, oh, this experience. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, some of these things were years old, 10 years old. Some of these things that I was still stewing about in my head. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to give myself the 5-minute rule. So I set my timer for 5 minutes. And I allowed myself to feel depressed and to feel sad and to cry a little bit and to just, be upset. And then, you know what? I actually got done with it about 40 seconds early because I was like, oh, I'm done. Now, and I grabbed my watch or my phone and I looked at it and it said 40 seconds for 41 seconds or whatever. I'm like, wow, I'm done early. And I just hit it. And I'm like, okay. That was it. Now I'm no longer allowed to feel that way. The rest of my life now is moving away from that and forward in a better direction. And so I choose to do that. And it's always a choice. So I encourage you, Cherry. I hope some of that was helpful. And I'm sorry if it just seems like a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. But I love you so much. You've been here a lot and you've shared so many wonderful things with us. And I look back, hey, we're here. Hey, guys, hey. Are we back? And we're back. Good. So anyway, Cherry, I love you. And that's what I was saying when we cut off. And I am so grateful that you're here. And I'm looking forward to seeing you more and more on this stream and in any other place. And hopefully something we said was encouraging. Ryan, do you have anything more to say?
Nope. Other than, yeah, we love you, Cherry. And thanks for sharing. And yeah, you'll get through this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten through everything else so far.
Yeah.
So
one thing that always sticks in my mind, I'm sorry, I know I said I was done. But one thing that always sticks in my mind when I look back on the time when I would contemplate ending my own life was I look at how many amazing things have happened from that time until now. How many just incredible, astounding, wonderful things have happened. Different performances that I've been blessed to have, different, fan groups I've been able to, interact with, when I was performing a lot, all kinds of different playing in biker bars. That was an experience in and of itself.
nice.
Yeah.
Did you get leather?
Did I get leather? There was lots of leather all over the place in that place.
I bet.
It was amazing. But seeing, getting married, watching the birth of my 2 children, you know, all of these experiences that I never, ever, ever would have had if I would have taken my own life back then.
Something you wouldn't even thought about during the
Hmm.
times when,
Nope.
considering.
But you've got a lot of life in front of you, Cherry, and there's going to be a lot of amazing things that happen. I promise. There's going to be some amazing stuff that
Mhm.
happens.
And you
And
know what? One more thing, I think, if you're worried about the people that uh, the people that helped you, that supported you, not being able to see, they don't want to see it. They're supporting because they know it will happen. They don't have to be
mhm,
there to see it. They're not supporting you because they want to see it. They're supporting you because they want it to happen, whether they get to see it or not. And they are so happy that it happens, even if they're not there to see it. They're
mhm,
so happy that they were able to make a difference. And they would never want that difference to be cut short because you were afraid that they wouldn't be able to see it. You
mhm,
know, if I trained a child to be like the best soccer player in the world, right? I would not care at all if he went on to be the best soccer player in the world and I didn't get a chance to see it. I would be impressed by him. And if he held back his performance because I wasn't there to see it, I would only be saddened.
mhm.
So I think, yeah, don't be afraid of other people not seeing the fruit of their hard work in you, and their support. I think they want that. They want you to be amazing because you are amazing already, and they've supported you because they believe that you're amazing, um,
Mhm.
and they don't need to see. That's not why they did it, you
Yeah.
know.
They already see it in their mind. They
Hmm.
don't know the specific details, but they know
Hmm.
it's going to be amazing. I think about that with my
Yes,
children too. I'm like, I don't know
yes.
what they're going to be good at. I don't know what they're going to end up falling into and loving and being a part of and all that stuff. But I'm excited to see it, as
Hmm.
much of it as I can.
Yep. And you know that they're going to be amazing, and you know that they're going to be amazing human beings,
Hmm.
and you don't need to. And you support them because you know how amazing they already are
Hmm.
and how amazing they can become. And yeah, um, so just like you said, they already see your success. They a lot of times people succeed the success of another person and then they support them because they're like, man, this person could be amazing.
Hmm.
I just need to support them and root them on because they're already on the right track. And they already see in their head, like they're envisioning that person just and how amazing they are. Um, so they've already lived it in
Yep.
their head to some extent.
Because that's you. That's amazing, Cherry.
Imagination. Yeah.
So you're awesome, Cherry. You know we love you, and so glad that you continue to come back and post. And I can't wait to see what you post next. So anyway, thank you very much for posting, Cherry. And with that, we'll probably move on. Um, and just know that wherever you go, our love follows you.
Hmm. Cool.
Yes.
So what's
So what do
next
we
on
have that's next? Let's see. Da, 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 da.
our cha 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 cha.
Ah, cha cha cha. Okay, so is Knox here? I didn't.
Knox.
I haven't seen Knox yet. I don't think.
Jack.
Um, Jack, Knox, Amira,
Drachi.
or
Snow-
Drachi. Are you still here?
Snowlock was here earlier. I don't know if they're here now.
Uh-huh. I saw Drachi and I saw Snowlock.
Oh, Drachi's here.
Drachi is here. All right. All right. Let's see. Drachi. And CJ is still here. think we got
Mhm.
time for a
Oh,
few
wait,
more.
CJ was Jack, right?
CJ Rose posted just recently. We've got a new one.
Oh, do we? Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Is Jack anybody that has a different alternate name? Maybe.
All right. So, Drachi, you are up next. Drachi also goes by Golden Dragon Play.
Mm-hmm.
CJ says no, I'm CJ.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's exactly as we wanted you to be.
Right. So, all right. CJ is CJ. Yes. All right. So there's the topic we're doing next. And Drachi's heart is racing. All right. Well, hopefully we can help. So this is from Drachi. When the past tries to hurt you. And it says, hey, everyone. It's hard to write this in here because I don't really want to bother more people with that, but I still feel like I should write it in here. Many people here know my story. If you don't, I will summarize it here. Just know that there was a person that I was emotionally dependent on and that mentally abused me to the point that I stood at the edge of a tower and thought about how it would feel to, you know what I want to say. It was hard for me to get through this time. Music was what really helped me, and Static's songs played a big part there. I can imagine that for sure. Um, Nevertheless, to the actual problem. Because of that time, I sometimes get flashbacks, is what I call them. Everything starts with my body shaking, followed by my emotions hitting me really hard, and ending with bad thoughts about myself and thoughts from that time. Self-harm/suicide thoughts coming up in my mind. I usually didn't have much problem to stay strong and to keep myself from following any of the thoughts. But lately, the flashbacks are coming way more frequently, almost every other day. I actually just had one just before writing this and hitting stronger than ever before. It's getting really hard to defend myself, and I fear that one day I may not be able to stand through it anymore and that I do something I don't want to. All of this happened 3 years ago, and it still haunts me till today, and I don't know anymore what to do. The only thing helping was to depend on music and friends. Thank you, there, Keaton, for the last days. Or my girlfriend that has enough worries herself right now. I don't know if or how you can help me, but I decided to reach out and at least try to ask for help. I don't even know if I really want this to come up in Don't Worry Wednesday. Thank you for reading through this. Sincerely, Drachi. Drachi. Ah, well, I'm sorry if you didn't want this to come up in Don't Worry Wednesday, but we're here, and I'm really glad you posted because this is definitely something worth talking about here, and I know that that's happened for me. You know, having the flashbacks, you know, reliving some of those experiences, and our minds are super powerful in that way. So I really appreciate you having the courage to post. So Ryan, you want to start us off?
Sure. First, obviously, Krachi, we love the heck out of you. You know that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are so happy that you're a part of our community. You're a part of a big part of just you know our community, especially with Jesse. Um, we love to have you around, and you are always a joy to be around. Um, yeah, and when I see you streaming, I always feel bad because the only time I ever see you stream is when we're about to stream, and I'm like, dang it,
Mm.
I need to catch one of those sometimes just to pay him the respects that are due. Like, 'cause I love that guy. He's so awesome. Um, I wish I could spend more time with you, man. But anyhow, yeah. So, you know, here's the thing about like flashbacks and stuff. Now, I don't know necessarily what's causing it in your current life. If there's something going on that you need to maybe solve, maybe some kind of underlying problem or something that's come up that's giving you stress and making you feel like it'd be easier just to quit, things like that. Um, I don't know what's going on if there's anything like that, but one thing I know is that sometimes we have these thoughts that come into our head, and then having that thought becomes a habit in itself. It's like it, there are a lot of things in life that are like this, but you have a thought, and then your reaction is to think this, and that
Mm,
reaction then takes you on a road. Like maybe an example is I think about um, wave pools. All right. Immediately when I think about wave pools, I immediately think about drowning. It doesn't actually make me scared or have that fear or feel like, I'm scared of them. But because in my life, there was a time where I almost drowned in a wave pool. Whenever I hear wave pool, I immediately think about the fact that I almost died in a wave pool, right?
mm.
And we have these habitual sequential thoughts. One thought comes to us and it immediately moves on to a next thought. Now, what can happen is we can make a habit out of taking any thought and leading it into a certain thought. Um, I try to be very positive, and so when I see something, my first perspective is to look at it in a positive light. How is this good? How can we make this a good thing? Some people they have a very a bad habit of making everything negative. When something happens to them or something happens around them, they immediately think about all of the negative aspects of it. Oh, this could turn into this, and that would be bad. That person might have bad uh, reasons they're trying to do this thing. They're constantly thinking about the bad side of things. Sometimes we can have habits where we're just like, I could commit suicide. Like that's an option. Like that's a habitual thought that's just coming into your head, and it's not healthy, right? It's just a bad thought that pops up. And then that thought becomes something that's like not necessarily attractive, but an idea, right? Like I guess that is a solution, kinda. It kind of works as a solution. It's not a good one, but um, and after it gets put on so many times, it becomes this thing like, well, maybe I should try it. Yeah, and I haven't tried it yet, so so everything's worth a try at least once, right? Um, Now, obviously, no. No, touching the stove while it's hot isn't good for you no matter how many times you think about it, right? And the same thing is true for suicide. So, what I'm guessing could have happened is that you kind of just developed a weird habit of your thoughts taking you on this sequence to where you end up in suicide. What about that option? You know? Yeah. So, what do you do to get away from that being um, popping up in your mind? What do you do to get away from just the idea of suicide popping in your mind randomly, right? Um, because um, I mean, this is a little bit religious, but there are demons, and religiously, we basically explain like those thoughts. A lot of times, they're just like, "Boop, hey, have that thought, deal with that," Or you hear something, and it's like, "Hey, what if they meant this?" And it's like, that'd be terrible if they meant that. That'd be so mean. Did they mean that? Oh, I hate that. I don't like them. you know. And it's kind of like our demons, our inner demons. You have these random thoughts that are just really bad. Um, so how do you get away from that, right? Again, if you're religious, prayer. Prayer is a great way to kill demons, or not kill them, but get rid of them.
Yeah.
Um, and you have that whole religious aspect. I don't know if you're religious, but you can explore that. You can go dip yourself in some holy water. It won't do you no harm. But you're not going to go down that road. Totally fine. Um, One thing that you could do is reflection. um, Whenever you have that thought, try to counteract it. um, One thing that Joe said that I really like is thanks, and How does it go? Thanks, but no thanks. It's kind of like that
Thanks,
usually.
and you're dismissed.
Yeah, thanks, and you're dismissed. So
I
I
say
really
that to
like.
my thoughts.
Yeah, you can say that to your thoughts. When you have a thought, you're allowed to go, thanks, but you're dismissed. And I do that. I don't use that phrase, but it's a great phrase. There are many times where I have a thought and I'm like, that's a dumb thought. You're gone. Like, there are times when I have a thought and I start thinking about it way too much. And I'm like, and I just start going down this cycle on this road and I'm like, this is getting dark. And I'm like, why am I even doing this? Like, this is not helping anything. All right, just stop thinking about it. That's not, yeah, just stop thinking about it. Um, and then move on to something else. Physically, usually if you move on to something else physically, it causes your mind to start thinking about what you're doing. And so it distracts you. Um, but there are also ways you can do that mentally. If you if you're able to just turn your thoughts and be like, okay, nope, I'm gonna focus on this in my head now. Um, but yeah, when you have that pop in your mind, the best thing you can do is immediately counter it with a dismissal, because then you have a habit, a new habit of redirection. Whenever something like suicidal comes up in your head, you can have the immediate reaction of dismiss that and continue on. Um, because sometimes a way to counteract a habit is not to kill that habit, but to create a new habit that changes the old one. Um, Sometimes the best way to get over bad habits is to create new habits. And I think that a lot of times that is the solution for things. Now, of course, there are times where you can just end a habit. Um, and I know that Joe wants to write a book on that sort of thing with addictions and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll probably have a
There's a
lot to
whole
say.
program that I want to put
Yeah,
together
whole
for that.
program. Yeah. Not
Yeah.
just a book, whole program.
Hmm.
But um, yeah, you say okay, you've mentioned a couple of things here. You say you almost got killed by a person in a wave pool as a child. Wow, nice. Okay. Your body's shaking. Okay, yeah, don't worry about it, man. We love you. We here's the thing, like it doesn't matter what you say about your past, like I'm having these struggles. Everybody's having struggles. Like don't worry about it, right? Don't think anybody's going to think any less of you because you've had suicidal thoughts. Like all we care about is sharing our love with you. Like we don't care if you had suicidal thoughts or thoughts of like doing things to other people that are really bad. It doesn't matter. We all have had bad thoughts, right? And we try to get over those. Um, in fact, speaking on that matter, some people have thoughts where just like temptations that are really not good. Like they'll be in an elevator and they see a pretty girl and they're like, "What if?" And then they're like, "Wow, why did I have that thought? That's terrible. Why would I even think that?" Like that's like really bad. And then sometimes then it happens like 4 times in the same day and you're like, what is my mind right now? Why am I having these terrible thoughts, right? I don't want to do that to people. Um and so that happens to everybody. Um and in fact, that's why the ancient world came up, at least outside of even Christianity, that there were demons.
Mm.
Outside of Judaism, right? Because that's where Christianity gets it from. Judaism. Even like the Romans believed that there were demons and stuff because of these weird random thoughts that are just like, why would I even think that? That's not healthy for anybody. And why is it as suddenly becoming something that I actually want to do? That's even worse, right? We've all been there. And I remember someone coming to talk about that with me one time, and it was interesting. It was a part of a bridegroom party when I went to uh, wow, Oregon for Amory's
Mm.
wedding. One
Mhm.
of the bridegrooms was talking about it, and he felt like he was the only person that ever happened to. And he's like, "So what? Like, this is what happens to me, and I'm wondering if anybody has any way to help, like, this like stop happening." And we're like, dude, no, that's not unnormal. That is very normal. That happens to everybody. Trust me. It happens to everybody in this room. Maybe not exactly that thought, but like something like it. And so what you do to counteract those weird desires is tell them no, because they're going to be there for the rest of your life. You're always going to have bad desires, even if it's something as simple as like, oh, I really want that piece of chocolate that's coated with sugar, but I don't need it.
Mhm.
Right? Even that's a desire that's not necessarily healthy for you, and you can say no. And you're going to have things like that throughout your entire life. Some of them are going to be really intense, like suicide. Some of them are going to be really simple and just like, you know what? I don't really need it. Easy to move on.
Mhm.
Um, but that's part of life, and that is something called self-control. It's a virtue. It's a virtue that we chase after. And
Mhm.
so the best solution to this problem is to chase a virtue. A lot of times the best solution to any problem is to chase the virtue that counteracts that. And so the virtue here would be self-control. How do you chase self-control? There's lots of different ways. I recommend fasting. Maybe Joe wants to talk a little bit about
Mhm.
that. I don't um, but there's lots of different ways to chase after the virtue of self-control, and I think that's really your best action against these type of thoughts. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna let it. I've talked for quite a while. I'm gonna say too long, but I'll
No,
let
it
Joe.
was the perfect amount of time,
I knew it
Ryan.
was gonna be. I
It
knew
was
it. Oh.
perfect. Yeah. I would go back and listen to what Ryan said because, wow, like I was just sitting there taking in what he was saying, and I'm like, wow, well, that's way better than what I was going to say. So I don't really have to say anything. All I could think of was a couple practical things, and that was one, like Ryan was just saying, fasting can help develop some self control. That helps you control your thoughts as well, because we're rational beings. We can examine our thought lives.
Hmm.
We can examine our thoughts. We can reflect on the very thoughts we have, and so we're thinking about our thoughts, which is kind of weird,
Yeah,
you know. So then you can take that a step further. You can be like, I'm thinking about the thoughts about my thoughts,
yeah. I'm thinking
because I'm
about my.
having thoughts about my thoughts, and so I'm thinking about the thoughts of my thoughts.
Mhm.
So yeah, but you can go on ad nauseum forever in that regard. But so fasting can be a good thing, and it doesn't have to be food necessarily, but just the act of self-denial, the act of denying yourself something that's good, that you enjoy. You say, you know what, I could do that right now. I'm not going to for a few hours or for the rest of the day or however long. And it's a way of self-discipline. And when you can discipline your physical self, it makes it easier for you to discipline your mind. And that's one thing you can do is fast. Another thing you can do is do some kind of exercise. I haven't touched on that in a while, but that's one of my go-to things when my mind starts to go downhill. I'm like, oh, I haven't really exercised much. And I came across a 5-minute workout that's incredible. And I'm like, that's my new workout. I thought I had it good when I was down to like 20 minutes. Now I've
Man,
got a
I figured out how to get more energy out into 5 minutes. That you just
five
like.
minutes. Yep. I'm like, because I don't have a whole lot of time. I got a lot of things I got to do. I got a lot of things I want to do. And I'm like, there's a whole bunch on my plate ready to go. And I'm like, I don't want to like fall off the wagon with my physical fitness. Plus, I know how great of an outlet it is. And I know how much it gets my head screwed on properly. And I know that if I'm starting to go down the path of depression, one of the main things that's happening is I've stopped exercising, probably because for some reason what that does for you, moving your blood through your body and getting fresh oxygen to all of your body and getting endorphins released, and there's all kinds of great things that happen. It boosts your self-confidence, it boosts your discipline. You're like, hey, I could have not done this, but I did it anyway. And so really, I mean, I do a minute of squats, I do a minute of push-ups, I do a minute of mountain climbers, which is, you just basically move your legs when you're in the push-up position. You just kind of up, down your legs, whatever. You run in place in the push-up position.
Mm-hmm.
And I do a minute of lunges, and then I do a minute of jumping jacks. And that's it. And that is hard enough to get my blood flowing like crazy. And it works like all the muscles in my body. And it's great. So anyway, that's something you can do. I saw a couple of posts in the chat, breathing exercises. Science Rocks is saying breathing exercises. Look up Wim Hof, WIMHOF, the Wim Hof breathing method. I was a party animal and I experimented with lots of different recreational substances. That breathing method is better than any substance I ever tried.
Approved. Nice. I love that. I love that. What do you call that? Witness?
Testimony?
Testimony. Thank you. Yeah. That's a great testimonial.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's great because like people are like, well, the reason you get high off of a substance is one of the reasons is because it deprives your brain of oxygen. In the Wim Hof method, you are overly oxygenating yourself. Like it's crazy. Like you do this for a while and then you just sit there because when you're sitting there resting, you just breathe automatically like normally. You don't even think about it. You breathe, right?
Oh geez, now you're thinking about breathing and now no one can do it right.
Right.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck. We're talking about breathing now.
Right.
Right.
So, but you just do it, right? And then your body just does it. After you do the Wim Hof method for a handful of cycles, you sit there and don't breathe while you're in the resting position. And you don't even think about that. And then eventually, after a while, you're like, I haven't breathed in like a long time. This is really weird. Like, because your body has so much oxygen, it doesn't need it. So it's like, I don't have to breathe. But anyway, so that's another thing you can do. But the main thing here I want to impress upon you, I just heard this again for the second time. This comes from a guy named T. Harv Eker. He wrote a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and he's written a whole bunch of other books too, and does a bunch of training and seminars, and he does a lot of online stuff now. But he has this saying that really, really stands out to me. And that is, don't believe a thought that you think. And at first glance, when you see that, you're like, what the heck does that even mean? Like, don't believe a thought you think. Like, when you think something, don't believe it just automatically. Because that thought might not serve you well, and it might be a lie. Like, I know I think things all the time that don't serve me well and aren't necessarily true. And so so then the point of that is, okay, don't believe it. It's not saying like just don't even think anymore because everything you think is wrong. No. Make yourself prove it. When you think something, think to yourself, is this a true thought? Is this that I'm thinking? Is this a true statement in my brain? Or could this be false? And then go through it. And then research it if you have to and look through it. Be like, where is this thought coming from? Why am I thinking this thought anyway? And it's like, well, it's just replaying something from my past. Oh, well, I've moved beyond that. I've said that to myself so many times, like when I've had a temptation to do something, like things that I've, old habits that I've had that I've not done anymore. And I have the temptation to do it again, because they never really leave all the way. Your demons chase you and they find you and they come after you and you got to punch them in the nose and get rid of them again. And if they had a nose, which they don't, but read the Book of Job. Yeah.
Nice.
But I have to tell myself, wait a minute. I don't do that kind of stuff. That's not who I am. I don't think like that because I think this way now. There was a time when I would have thought that way. That was wrong. I think differently now. I've changed my direction. Like when I read my journal entry from before, you can change your direction at any time. And sometimes in the midst of a challenge like this, when your brain is going crazy and you're in a flashback and your body is starting to get involved, and it's causing a bodily reaction, like like you're starting to tense up, you're starting to breathe, hyperventilate a little bit maybe, and you're starting to shake, and different things going on like that. It's like, wait a minute, where's this thought coming from? And in your case, a lot of these things, it sounds like it's coming from stuff that happened like 3 years ago, which makes sense because these memories happen. I have things that I remember from 25 years ago, mistakes that I made that still haunt me, and I feel bad about them. And then I remind myself, I'm like, wait a second, I can't do anything about that now. All I can do is pray for the people involved and thank God that I've changed, because I don't act that way anymore.
Yeah. There are times when those things will hit you and you're like, wait, that's not actually happening right now. Why am I
Yes.
tensing? Like, I don't
Yes.
need, just let it go.
Yep. Especially when it's a past experience. Now, trauma is real. These things can traumatize us for a while, and they can continue to come back and haunt us. But you can stop yourself, examine your thoughts, say, thank you for bringing that. Now you're dismissed. And then get up and do some push-ups or some jumping jacks or something. And your brain will thank you. Let it go. Let it go. You guys should look up Tay Zonday doing Let It
Oh,
Go.
geez.
It's beautiful.
That's great. Let it go. Yeah.
Yep, he covered Let It Go. It's awesome.
Nice.
Tay Zonday. Tay.
Yeah. Good old Tezon Day. Oh my
Yep.
gosh. When YouTube was new and he was
Yeah.
on top of the board. He was, oh my gosh.
Yeah, one of the first viral videos ever.
Mm.
Tay Zonday.
Chocolate rain. Yep. Bringing it back.
But yes, it's the chocolate rain guy.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, Ryan, do you have anything else to say to Drachi?
Drachi, we love you to pieces. You're amazing, man. And you bring us so much joy, and we hope to keep on experiencing that with you. Yeah, that's all I had to say. We love you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear much of anything you said, Ryan.
That's cool. Am I lagging? Hello. Uh, Jesse, I just see some confirmation on who's lagging. Here you go. Okay, you think it's Joe? Okay, all right. Yeah, he's like, I'm having trouble hearing anything. Oh, Joe, Joe, Joe. He teleported. Yes, he's trying to fix it, it seems, but oh well. So Drachi, any questions? Any thoughts? Anything you want to add to this? Um, other than the heart. Thanks for the heart, man. You're awesome. Oh, you said thank you all. I will try to do what you said. Maybe it will work. Yeah, we hope it'll work. One of the things is it might go away. There might be a day where you never have these thoughts again, but also might live with you for the rest of your life. And we all have those things. The best thing you can do is control yourself. Because then if you have control of yourself, then those thoughts do nothing for you. They do nothing to you because those are just thoughts, right? Thoughts aren't physically real, and you don't have to act on them, and you don't even necessarily have to feel anything for them. We just often do. But thoughts are just thoughts, and you make of them what you will. You can decide, you know what? That's not a good thought. Moving on. Or you might go, wow, that was a really cool thought. I should do something about that. But when it comes to suicide, obviously, that's not a cool thought. We don't like that one. And I am hi, I am Two-Face. I'm one face in two places. Alright, I am CDVNL? Alright, that's fine. That's fine. I can be that.
I
I
might
am
as well
Joe.
make myself visible for everyone too, or audio wise. Oh,
Oh,
and he's back.
aha.
Ah.
Haha.
Hey guys.
Now you're
Oh, wait, I
three.
need
Now
to
you're three faces.
do I need to leave and come back?
No, hold on. Let me fix myself first.
Fix. Yeah. How's everybody doing? Sorry about that.
Oh, it's totally cool. It happens. We've been having,
It's a technical evening.
it is a technical evening. It's not too bad, though. It's been worse.
Yeah, there have been times that it's been worse for sure.
Love when we get to hear Jeff. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, then we're ready to go.
We're almost ready to go. Hold on.
Oh, wait. Wait. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, nice.
Wait for it. Are you waiting for it? Are you waiting for it now? Wait for it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Are we on good?
Welcome back, Ryan. Wow, Joe, you look very different. Yeah, I put on a blonde hat today. And
You look
I
good.
bought myself a owl. I've named it. Oh, did he? I missed it. What was it? Oh, okay. Now I don't know if you guys heard Jesse say that, but Jesse talking about Deku, who was asking about Criminal Idol stuff. Yes, there is quite a bit of that on the way. There's some multiple songs pretty much done. There's one that's completely done, and then 3 more that are almost done. And they're on the way, and that will happen in time. We plan to have an event, if you will, a Kickstarter campaign that sells like merchandise and like Criminal Idols plushies and stuff that you guys can get.
Mm-hmm.
And cool things like that. And so we're gonna try to make a pretty cool event out of it. There's one video that's on its way to YouTube, but I don't know when. Rainey has been working on it, and hopefully that'll come out sometime soon, but I'm not sure. I know that right now she's busy, but she always is. So we'll see. We'll see. Well, you guys will know when it happens, as long as you have that bell clicked.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you will. And those of you also who are a part of BSS.studio, you will see for sure when it comes out. You'll get notifications, and if you're on the email list, which you should be, because there's some really awesome emails that come out. We got an email newsletter. It's almost every day. That
We're still sending those out.
yeah.
Awesome.
You're not getting them?
I
Did you cancel your?
No. I get them. I just don't look at my email.
Oh, ever. That's right.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a bad thing. Kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, plushies are in order for the Kickstarter. We got, those vinyl pop figures, the bobblehead type of things. We were thinking about that. So cool little action figures. You guys are here, so you get the preview. My Hero Deku, my email is a wasteland. I totally hear you there. Yes. So anyway, I no longer have any idea how long we've been going because
Oh,
my
do you know
time is off.
okay.
It
So
reset my Cubase. So
we're currently at the 2-hour mark.
oh, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, doggone it!
Dog on what?
I said.
Who's dog? Dog on it? What is it? What's the dog on?
I don't know the
Right,
doggone. You know, any of you guys from Alberta, Canada?
I know some.
Maybe.
Any of you guys? I know that there's some people in our community that are from Canada, but not necessarily specifically Alberta. Kay is from Alberta.
Okay, I've heard there are parts of Alberta, Canada, where it's so flat and there are no trees, so you can watch your dog run away for 3 days.
Well, the dog is pretty old, and it does only have 2. It's also blind, so sometimes it runs back towards you. It is a long process, but it's 3 days roughly. After many tests and trials, we've discovered about 3 days is the average.
Yes. Dog on Joe's head made him blonder.
Woof.
Maybe. Hey. Oh, well,
Ruffy.
at any rate, it's going to be cool. The Kickstarter is going to be cool, you guys. And yeah, it's going to launch not too long.
From now.
We've got a lot of stuff just about ready to go. In fact, I just wrote the ad copy for it.
Yeah, you did. That was a great ad copy.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. And yep, so we got that. We're going to produce video for it, and then we got to just finalize the tiers and the goals and everything, and then we'll be good to go and it'll launch.
Yeah, no Kickstarter link yet because it hasn't been created, but it is in the process.
Yep.
So Deku, you press that bell icon or something so that you know when we want to advertise it, you get to see it. I'm sure I'll put out an advertisement for it on YouTube as well. So
yep, there will be one on the Static P channel. There will probably be one on the BSS channel, and then at bss.studio and everything. So you guys that are subscribed with notifications, you'll get to know about it. But yeah, it's exciting and it's crazy because we've got Ryan's brother Kyle. He's getting in touch with all these manufacturers for some of these cool toys and stuff like that. It's like it's really exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right,
and
good luck in your head. Win that battle.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry for the technical difficulties right in the towards the end of our discussion, but yeah, you're amazing.
Just like that eye maneuver, Jesse. Is that what you're laughing at? Yeah.
What happened?
I had my spoon here, and I dropped it in my cup, and it made noise. And I looked up, and I was like, "Who did that?" And I looked back and forth, and Jesse started laughing at me.
Well, I wasn't even paying attention. I was too busy not paying attention.
No, you're too busy doing important things like telling Drachi how much we love him. So
yeah, Drachi, we love you.
Yep. All
and
right.
So so we've got a few here. Let me actually look, because I know there are a bunch of you still here that we didn't get to your question yet. But we got Lay, we've got Kay, we've got Deku and CJ Rose. Also Snowlock, if you're still here. I apologize for not getting to your guys' topics. We will be here on Friday.
That's right.
This week. Barring any natural disasters or anything like that, or as long as our computers can work properly, we will be here on Friday, and hopefully you will be here, and we will get to them. You guys, I'm missing out, man, because you guys are getting all laughy, and I'm like not
Jay's
understanding
saying
what's
that
going
I'm
on.
pillaging or something. Somebody's pillaging. Somebody's too busy pillaging, and I just saw this comment and I thought that was funny because I was saying that earlier.
Oh, is that the sound of your spoon you were pillaging?
Yeah, that's what that was.
Okay, cool. So, all right. Well, Deku, we'll see you on Wednesday then if you're not here on Friday,
Mhm.
and we will handle yours then when you come back. And yeah, you guys are awesome. We appreciate you guys so much,
Mhm.
and it's great to have you all here on the stream. To all of you that are out there lurking and watching and not in the chat, we're glad that you're here as well. And feel free at any time, hop on in the chat and be a part of this great community. To all of you who are not a part of bss.studio, go there, get involved. There are great people at bss.studio, the greatest people in the universe, I've always said. And so you
He
can
said
rest
that
assured.
like
What's that?
7 years ago before it even existed. He's
I
always
did. I did. I've always said that since
yeah, that's
before I was born.
one of the first words he said ever was that.
Yeah. That's because I had been saying it before I was able to talk.
Yeah, right. So he
It'd
was
been
very
going in my
slowly
head, and
getting
I just my mouth didn't work right.
but he was saying that
I was
specifically.
saying it. BSS.studio. I didn't even know what that meant yet because there was no such thing as internet.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, what is that?
But I knew.
But you knew.
So
There was no internet really yet.
there wasn't.
I didn't think
No,
about
I predate the internet, except for while I was military internet.
yeah.
But yeah,
I do kind of as well.
it's awesome. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful night and a wonderful Thursday. To those of you who can come on Friday, be here. We will be here. You'll have a much better looking host than
That's
me.
not true.
It is. It is very true.
It's not even true, Joe. When's the last time you looked in the mirror?
I'm looking at myself on the screen right now, actually, and then I'm looking at the guy next to me on the screen, who's actually above me on everybody else's screen, and yeah.
And one of them, you, is obviously way more attractive.
I don't think about that.
Well, you're just trying to lie to make yourself look good, but look good like for everybody else's like oh yeah, he doesn't have an ego, he doesn't have an ego problem. But the truth is, like, you're the way more attractive male here.
Well, and here people are saying, they're telling me to be nice to myself. Kay, thank you. I appreciate that, but I am being nice to myself. I'm just acknowledging the truth that I am amazingly, astoundingly beautiful.
There you are, yeah.
But Ryan is like 20 times that level of beauty.
You
Because
only
I'm
think
old.
that because I've got long blonde hair.
I'm like
and
the
you're
old
finding
bald guy that
like how women always look better than guys because that's your personal attraction. But okay, but if I didn't have the long hair, like, take away, like, see, I'm bald. Okay, imagine I'm bald. Now we're equally attractive. So
Oh, okay. Well, not actually.
whatever, Joe.
And now they're saying, what about Jesse? Yeah, Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse's the most.
Jesse can't be on these streams because he would put both me and Ryan to shame. Like if he put it up on video, oh my gosh, you guys would just be like, oh, I don't want to look at anybody else. I want to look at Jesse.
Yeah. Have you seen his fro? His fro will just, like, I might as well just cut my hair off then and there because no one's gonna be looking at it. Bro, so awesome.
That's right. Nobody can compete with that little hair. I mean, I'm around Jesse, who has the wonderful hair, and go to the BSS Twitch stream to see that. And Ryan, who's got this beautiful blonde, flowing, amazing hair that you could like whip somebody with from across the room.
I do whip my hair back and forth.
It
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. These are lyrics.
I looked at my hair and I'm like, gone. You're out. So that's why I shaved my head, because I was around all these people with beautiful hair, and I'm like, nope, I cannot do that.
Nope, I'm gonna be the bald guy with the other bald guy.
Yep, because we do have another bald guy on staff.
He's bald first, though. He chose to be bald.
Yes, I'm bald by choice because I was around such beautiful hair and I couldn't handle myself anymore.
Aw, I'm sorry, Joe. You want me to shave mine off? That way you can grow yours.
No, I don't want you to shave yours off. I want you to maintain that amazingness.
Nest.
So,
right.
as
Jesse's telling us goodbye.
Jesse's okay, so that means the stream's just gonna go off.
So yeah, expect that to happen. Theater near you.
Which is kind of normal for this stream tonight. Somebody's computer is just gonna shut off, and it's gonna be oh man. You're like, hey, we might as well just say bye. We're like, next time at the beginning of the show, we'll say bye. And
Yeah.
we've done
That way
it.
it's not so awkward when we leave later randomly. We've already said bye.
Right. So, oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And special thanks to Jesse for producing. Special thanks to Princess for being the chat room hostess. And special thanks to everybody who was here. My goodness, the chat room was so lively and wonderful tonight. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
For being
We
here.
love you all. You're awesome. You're amazing.
Yep.
Happy to
And we'll see you next time. Story Wednesday.
Bye-bye.
Be there.